Are you struggling with feeling like you're not good enough after your divorce? You've gotten through the big pain point, the dark night. You made the decision, you're starting over, and this is kind of creeping in where you're questioning yourself. Maybe you're wondering about what happened. You're sort of every now and then thinking, like, what did I do? I know how you feel. I, I totally understand. My name's Sarah Schweppe, and I'm an Essence coach who supports divorced women in helping professions to move through the relationship blocks that get in the way of creating the life and love that you really want. Today, I'm talking about that feeling like you're not good enough and how that can pop up after divorce. You're starting over. You didn't think this is how your life was going to turn out. And here you are, single or maybe dating, maybe newly coupled, and this not good enough thing keeps popping up. So I love this idea that we're hearing ourselves say, "I feel like I'm not good enough." But I think what's really happening here is that we're having the thought that we're not good enough. It's not actually a feeling, right? So feelings, something that I'm experiencing in my body, sensations, there's a feeling underneath that thought. That idea that we're not good enough is a limiting belief. It's a story. It's something that I can argue with. So the thing is, my mind is uh, really, really good at coming up with these stories and finding all the evidence to support its belief. And I've done a lot of inner work, really heady inner work over the years where I'm working on my beliefs, my negative beliefs, my limiting beliefs. And I've done it, I spent a lot of time doing it solely with my mind. Now, that would work sometimes. I often found myself picking up the phone and calling somebody, "What do you think?" And sort of relying on them to help me to feel better. They'd say the things, they'd talk me out of it, I'd feel better. But it never really totally shifted out of it. It would inevitably come back. And I think that's because the way I see it, our thoughts reflect our state, our energetic state, our feelings. And so if I'm in a shameful state or a negative state, my thoughts are going to reflect that. So I can spend all the time up here changing my thoughts and what should I do and getting the people to make me feel better. But down here in my body, if I'm not addressing the stuck energy that's fueling the thoughts, these thoughts are just going to come right back, right? They're just going to pop back in. So I found this to be so life changing when I found this out because I could go directly to the source. I could go directly to my body, be with my sensations, and move the energy through that's stuck with a process called SEW. I talk about it around here. Um, I'm not going to go into that now. There's other ways to shift your energy, like moving your body, pushing on a wall with anger, running if you're having agitated fear, letting yourself cry if you're feeling sad. It turns out shame, at least the way I see it, is the word we've assigned to a cluster of sensations that we're experiencing. We all know what shame feels like. It's like kind of pulled in and collapsed, and I want to pull the covers over my head, and I don't want anybody to see me, and I feel like shit, and leave me alone. Well, every single time I've worked with somebody in shame, and even in my own shame, when I ask them to pull it apart, meaning, what do you notice in your body when you're experiencing shame? There's energy in the stomach, which is where fear often lives. There's usually energy in the chest and neck, which is where sadness lives. And then there's often um, shoulders, neck, head tension, which is where anger lives. So when those feelings have bubbled up, not bubbled up, they come up and we're not letting them through, we experience shame. And so we have this desire to kind of pull in. We might feel lethargic. We might feel like there's not really any energy moving, like I don't want to do anything. But what I find is that it's not that there's no energy there. It's just that it's not moving through. And so when we can start to move that through, even just sitting up, shoulders back, sitting up straight has the power to begin to shift me out of shame, right? Because I'm no longer in that collapse, keeping the energy down and letting it move through when I come up. And so I share this because I remember, oh my gosh, after I got divorced, it was right during COVID for me, which turned out to be kind of a blessing because nobody was going out. I didn't want anybody to see me. I was like, I could not believe that I couldn't make it work. I was just in this place of stuck in shame. And then when I started to pull it apart and move the energy through lots and lots of layers that I hadn't moved through, despite doing a ton of inner work, lots of therapy, lots of other stuff, not that those things didn't support me, but ultimately they weren't supporting me to move the energy through. Things began to shift for me. I um, started to see my own power, that it wasn't going to take years to come out of this. Sometimes it would just take one session with my coach at the time or working with myself. And so over and over coming out of that, noticing that when I spot a threat and I go into reactive brain, I go into shame, that story's right there. It's right there. Those hearts, those personas, those limiting beliefs, they're in us. And so for me now, when I go into that place, like if I go into a collapse and I'm watching my mind tell that story, I'm not good enough. I know that it's a story. I know that it's reflecting my state. It's basically a clue for me to tune in. Oh, what energy is it moving through? And so um having the tools to move through that, to not have to believe the stories, because when I shift it and when I get to creative brain or my essence, my soul, I'm not wrestling with a story that I'm not good enough. I'm tuned in, I'm connected to the knowing, my inherent belief, my soul belief, my essence belief that I am enough. I don't have to do anything to be enough. I don't have to be a different person. It's like I am enough because I was born, because I exist, because I matter. So it's what's really cool for me with this, and what has been really cool, is I don't have to convince myself of anything. I don't have to keep wrestling with my mind. I can go in and shift my state. And then that feel good feeling of, oh, yeah, I am enough. And so is everyone else. It's right there waiting for me to access it. So that's all I have for today. If you're feeling stuck and the not good enough, I wonder what feelings are in your body. I wonder what might be possible for you when you tune into those, you let go of the story, move that energy through from up in your creative rate, in your essence. I wonder what life you might be able to create for yourself, what relationship with yourself, with another is up ahead. Have a great day.